Hello, welcome back to another Learn About Xero video. My name's John. In today's session, I'll walk you through the full bank reconciliation process, showing you how to deal with different types of transactions such as part payments, prepayments, overpayments, minor adjustments, and more. I'll show you how Xero makes it easy and quick with features such as automatic matching, auto-suggestions, and bank rules. Once we've covered the basics, I'll show you cash coding, a really powerful feature that lets you reconcile multiple cash transactions at once. So let's get started. Now for this session I'll be using Xero's demo company, which is a great resource where you can try things out in a completely safe environment. Now to access the demo company, go to the navigation menu, scroll down to My Xero, and this is where you'll see your organization as well as the demo company at the bottom. You can reset its example data at any time, and you can even change country if you need to. Now if you're using a different region's demo company, I'm using the global edition. Some of the examples might be slightly different, but it's going to be 95% the same. So you can play along when you're watching this video in the demo company and practice things as I show them. Okay, so let's start with the bank. Now here we can see the balance in Xero and the balance on our Xero bank statement. And the process of reconciling is simply ensuring that we've recorded all our transactions in Xero from the bank statement. And we can see there are 27 items to reconcile, so let's click that button and go to the bank rec screen. Now everything on the left comes from our bank statements. If you've set up bank feeds, these flow into Xero automatically. Now, if you haven't set up a bank feed or no bank feed is available, you can still manually import your bank statement lines. Now, I do have a video on my channel, so check that out if you want to learn all about importing your bank statements. On the right-hand side are your Xero transactions. So the process of reconciling is simply creating and matching a Xero transaction with your bank statement. So the first transaction is for Ridgeway University. We've received $618,750. We've already got a transaction in Xero, and I can see it's for sales invoice. Xero has automatically matched it because the amounts are an exact match. And when there's an automatic match, Xero highlights that transaction in green, really obvious to see. All I need to do is click OK to reconcile it. So when I click OK, Xero does a couple of things. It will create a bank account transaction, which is a received money transaction, and it will update the balance in Xero. It will also mark the sales invoice as paid and update our aged receivables balance. So nothing else we need to do with it. Now we spent some money at Smart Agency, $4,500. Now Smart Agency is one of my main suppliers, so I'm not really sure why there's no bill to match it against. So I'm going to click Find and Match on the right hand side and try and find the Smart Agency bill. Now here we'll see a list of unreconciled transactions recorded in Xero. Now I can filter this list by searching. I'm going to search for Smart. Oh, okay, I can see we've got two bills for Smart Agency, and together these add up to $4,500. So these two bills now match what's on our bank statement. Xero only automatically matches if there's an exact match for one transaction. Here there are two transactions, so we've selected them. We can click OK, and Xero will mark those bills as paid and update our aged payables balance. We've got some received money on our bank statement on the left from City Limousines. Now City Limousines is one of my customers, so again I would have thought there'd be an exact match. Notice somebody's left a comment using the Discuss tab on the right, so they weren't really sure what to do with it. So again I'll use Find and Match and see if I can find a sales invoice from City Limousines, or to City Limousines. Again, I'll use search to filter the results. Now there's still no match, and this is because we've received $100. This is a partial payment against invoice number 6. So I'll select that invoice and click split, and that will let me split the transaction in Xero so I can allocate that partial payment against it. So we're going to create a transaction in Xero for $100 and match it against the bank statement, and that will leave $150 outstanding. And click OK to reconcile. Now for Truxton Property Management, we've paid $118,125. There's already a bank transaction recorded in Xero. So this means when I click OK to reconcile the transaction against the bank statement, the balance in Xero at the top won't update because that already takes into account that payment. There's already a bank payment in Xero. Now we've received an upfront payment from our customer Jacaranda Maple Systems. So they've made a deposit for some work that we haven't yet done. So they've made a prepayment. For us, it's revenue received in advance. Now if this was a normal cash transaction, I'd just simply fill out the who, what and why to create a new transaction. But for prepayments and overpayments, we need to add details. Let Xero know what kind of transaction this is. And here it's a prepayment transaction. I'll allocate this to revenue received in advance and save. So we can see that Xero's created a prepayment transaction, matched it to the receipt on our bank statement, so all we need to do is click OK to reconcile. We've spent some money at Ridgeway Banking Corporation. On the right, Xero's automatically filled in some details. Now this is an auto-suggestion, it's a great time saver. Xero remembers the last time we had a payment to Ridgeway Banking Corporation, we coded it to bank fees. Now if we're happy, we want to code this one to bank fees as well, all we need to do is click OK. We could choose to allocate it to a different account, but here I'm happy it's bank fees. I'll click OK. That will create a transaction in Xero and reconcile it to our bank statement. We've paid $15.50 at 7-Eleven, and because we spend money at 7-Eleven quite a lot, we've set up a bank rule previously. And the bank rule says something like, every time we spend money at 7-Eleven, I want to create a transaction and code it to general expenses. So all you need to do, if there's a bank rule, is click OK to create a transaction and reconcile it to your bank statement. It's a real time saver when you regularly spend or receive money from the same supplier customer. Now we spent $15.75 at Cooper Street Bakery. There's no auto suggestion. There's no match because this was just a cash payment in the shop. And there's no auto suggestion because it's the first time we've spent money at Cooper Street Bakery. So we need to create a brand new transaction. Whenever you create a transaction, you need the who, what and why. So the who is the name of the contact. So here it's Cooper Street Bakery. As you start typing, you can select from a list of contacts. We haven't got Cooper Street Bakery set up, so when we save this transaction, it will create a new contact called Cooper Street Bakery. I'll allocate this to, let's say, general expenses. And a description is always useful, especially if you want to go back and review any historical transactions. It kind of gives you a heads up as to what that transaction was for. So this was for some muffins for the team meeting. And I'll click OK to create that transaction and reconcile. We've spent some money at Swanson Security, and again, Swanson Security is one of my main suppliers, so I was expecting it to come up with an automatic match. I'm pretty sure there's a bill recorded in Xero for Swanson Security. So let's try and find that bill. Click Find and Match. Again, I'll search. Okay, I can see why it hasn't automatically matched this one. The amount is slightly different. We paid $59.55 on our bank statement, but the bill in Xero was only $59.54, so we've actually overpaid here. Now, in this example, it's only 1 cent. I'm going to write off this difference as a minor adjustment. So I'm going to select this on the left, scroll down and click Adjustments. And this is a minor adjustment. And when you record a minor adjustment, it will post a transaction to the rounding account. And it was for 1 cent. So I can click Reconcile, or up at the top, click OK. We've got another match, this one for Gateway Motors. Again, all we need to do is click OK to reconcile. We've received money here from another bank account, and it's an e-bank deposit. This was a bank transfer from our business savings account. So to deal with bank transfers, click that Transfer tab. Select the bank account that it came from or was paid to. And a reference is always handy. I'm just going to write what this was for. And click OK. And when you click OK, Xero does two things. It creates and reconciles a transaction in the business bank account, which is this bank account, but it also creates a new transaction in the other bank account, in the business savings account. So we could go into the business savings account and reconcile that new transaction. Now, again, we've paid some more money at Cooper Street Bakery, $11.90. This time there is an automatic suggestion, an auto suggestion. So if we're happy it's the correct code, general expenses, I'm happy with that. All we need to do is click OK. Xero will create a new transaction and reconcile it to our bank statement. You could update the description if necessary, but again, this was for some more muffins. Click OK to reconcile. So those are some of the basics of the bank reconciliation in Xero. Now I could go through and reconcile the remaining items in the same way, but I want to show you something even more powerful that's a lot quicker. I want to show you cache coding. Now you'll only see this tab if you've got the cache coding permission. It's a really powerful way of coding up cash transactions in bulk. So let's take a look. And you can see it looks more like a spreadsheet. Here you'll see all your unreconciled bank statement lines. And you can sort the information by any of these headings in blue. I'll sort by payee. Now if you see that any of these transactions have got an account code already, it's because you've set up a bank rule. So if you spend money at the same place regularly, really useful to set up bank rules, and you'll have quite a few of these filled out. All you need to do is click Save and Reconcile All, and quickly create a heap of transactions and reconcile them. Here it's just one, but you can see this could potentially save you heaps of time. So bank rules together with cache coding is a really powerful combination. So let's reconcile a few of these transactions quickly. The payment to ACL conferences was for some advertising. Central City Parking, this was all motor vehicle expenses. Now to select multiple ones, tick the first box, hold down the Shift key, and select the last one, and I'll code these to motor vehicle expenses. Now notice, because I've selected 5 lines here, the button at the bottom says Save and Reconcile Selected, but I've actually got 6 transactions here I want to reconcile, so I'll uncheck all and Save and Reconcile All. That's 6 transactions created and reconciled really quick. Now the e-cash deposit, this was some funds introduced into the business. Majestic contracting, this was for some cash sales. We didn't actually have an invoice for this, so I'm just going to code this directly to sales. The Payments New World was for a couple of different things. It was for some stationery and for some items for personal use. So I need to code this to two different account codes. So click into the account field and hit the / key. And this brings up the spend money box. And it allows you to allocate this payment or a receipt against multiple items. So some of this was for some stationery. And the remainder was drawings. And save. And the payments to Parkside Kiosk and Whitcool's, these were all stationery. And again, you'll see Save and Reconcile Selected is shown. So I'm going to uncheck all and Save and Reconcile all. So again, that's 7 more transactions created in Xero and reconciled to our bank statements really quick. And I'm left with just one. This was another bank transfer. So remember, to deal with bank transfers, we do that on the bank reconciliation screen. We can see the transfer tab is selected automatically. All we need to do is click OK to reconcile. And that's everything reconciled. So we know in Xero we've recorded all our transactions from our bank statement. And you get a nice, lovely, warm feeling when you see that green tick. Oh, I certainly do. So hopefully you've enjoyed this walkthrough of the bank reconciliation. Hopefully you've picked up a couple of tips there. If you did enjoy this, please give the video a like. And take a look at my channel. I've got loads more videos around the bank reconciliation. And let me know in the comments if there's other videos that you'd like to see. Thanks for watching.